Hey guys, just wanted to hop in here before the episode started. We did actually have more planned for this episode, but we have some Wi-Fi issues come up. But I did make new background graphics, so let me know what you all think about those. Still working on them. I'm still new to Photoshop. Been watching YouTube videos on how to do it, so bear with me on that. The part that was missing from this episode will be added on to the next one, or we'll make a whole video out of it, just depending on how much time and stuff it takes. But thank you all for watching.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBT episode number 7. Here with your host, Mark Doss, Jared Ratcliffe, and Steve Stacy.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, guys?
Not much. Steve finally settled in a little bit. You know, he's not traveling the world this week.
At my house.
He's a busy man, as you can tell. So any place is the right place for him.
That's right.
Started though with our top 5 NFL fantasy running backs.
Oh yeah, I believe.
That sound about right?
Yep, got our list pulled up here. Let's see. I guess I'll go ahead. I'll start us off here. I'll give my number 5. I actually have Jonathan Taylor there at my number 5. I feel like the Colts could have. I mean, I feel like they'll finish top 3 rushing this year, just with Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor back there. I mean, I know Jonathan Taylor's been hurt, but he's just good, man.
Too good.
He's just so good. And their offensive line, I don't think it's quite as good as it was a couple years ago, but I mean, it's still not. I mean, it's not like it's the worst in the league. And he's a good running back, and teams are going to have to worry about Anthony Richardson keeping the ball and running himself. So I think that might help him out a lot, honestly. Definitely better than when he had Matt Ryan or Phillip Rivers back there with him. I think he's definitely set up a little bit better.
Mobile.
Yeah. But he's my 5.
He just missed my 5th spot.
Yeah.
He just missed my 5th spot.
I think for him he's just in a good situation this year, and I think it'll boost him up. So
cool. Want me to go, Steve, or you?
No, you.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
My 5th spot, I got Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I don't want to put him too high because of that coming off that injury.
Yeah,
I'm scared about that.
Yeah, I'm really scared.
So I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna put him at number 5. And I still think he's gonna be, a beast.
Yeah,
but I just don't know how to an extent. He's
yeah.
gonna be. So I'm putting him number 5 for now.
That's the injuries scare me, especially where he's like, I think he's like 28 now, 29, somewhere around there.
Right.
And he already has messed up his knee a couple times. That scares me.
That's been brutal, man. He's been through it.
But I mean, like you said, if there's anybody that's going to come back from it, it's going to be him. So I would not be surprised if he comes back and is just,
and just wrecks our defense for Cincinnati.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's going to have at least 400 yards this season because he plays us twice, and he gets 200 at least every time. So
you can go ahead and count that.
Yeah.
How about you, Steve? What's your number 5?
My number 5, I took James Cook from Buffalo. I think he had a nice breakout year last year. He got real involved in the pass game with Josh Allen. He eclipsed 1,000 yards rushing. He's a young guy. I know he had some drops last year, but I think he's going to just get better.
Yeah,
he's a pretty reliable running back last year in fantasy. So I'm looking for him to have a bigger role and a bigger breakout here. Now that they need a little more help, you know what I mean? They lost Diggs. They're going to have to rely a little more on some other guys. They don't have a strong receiving core. They might have to be a little more run heavy. So I look for him to be a breakout guy.
Yeah,
I like that. He became more of a weapon for Josh Allen there down the stretch of past season too. I like that.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to have more of a workload this season with Diggs being gone, and Gabe Davis is gone too. So
some guys are going to have to step up.
Yep, I agree. So is it? I guess it's back to me, huh? At my number 4, this I think this is the hardest list I've had to do, just because there's so many that could just running back is like the hardest to predict. I feel like
Yeah, so they
because
get hurt
every
so fast.
and every year there's like
Yeah.
somebody new that just pops up in the
Breaks
top
out.
five.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at my 4, I put Jahmyr Gibbs here just because he has to split. I mean, I know he'll have more of a role this year than David Montgomery, but they're still going to give Montgomery the ball, and he's still
Yeah.
going to be the red zone back, I feel like. And unfortunately for Gibbs, that's where you score your fantasy points most of the time, is in the red zone.
Majority of it, yeah.
When you just punch it in from 5 yards. But that's if Montgomery wasn't there, I would probably put Gibbs at 2. That's how good I feel like he is. But they have to split it. But I think he'll get more this year than he did last year, which he started to at the end of the year and at the end of last year. Because I remember,
Yeah.
because I drafted him last year, and like the first couple of weeks they didn't really use him that much, and I was kind of worried. But the more the season went on, the more they used him, and I think with another full off season with him, and I think
Going into the second year.
old Dan Campbell is gonna give him the rock this year a lot, but Montgomery still is going to be that guy to punch it in from the 3-yard line. After Gibbs gets his 50-yard run and gets tackled on the 2, Montgomery's going to
Right.
get the touchdown. So
He gets rewarded for it.
yeah. But I got him at number 4 this year.
Okay.
Or that's what I think he'll finish.
I got my spot for number 4. I have Saquon Barkley. I think he could put up some points this year if he stays healthy, and he's on Philly now.
Yeah.
So I think he's in a better position,
Yeah.
to say the least. But I think he could be a dangerous duo with him and Hurts back here in the backfield, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I got Saquon at number 4.
Yep.
So I went with Kieran Williams, Williamson from the Rams. He was another one of those breakout guys last year.
Yep.
I'm kind of hoping these guys, him and Cook, kind of carry their momentum going forward.
I think they will.
I think Kieran, if he didn't get hurt, I think he could have led the league in rushing last year. You know what I mean? He was right on track.
Mhm.
He got hurt a couple of games there down the end of the season, and he still broke 1,000 yards. I'm almost certain. So I think he's a very reliable guy. I think he's going to be one of those. I think he could be. He's definitely the number 1 guy there. I can't think of any other running backs there that even come to mind right now. So he can get the majority of the touches. Exactly. See,
I think
I
don't think
know
so.
that it won't be much of a committee, so hopefully he gets fed the ball a lot, short yardage.
Yeah.
They got those weapons in Cup and Puka Nacua, but somebody's got running in for the 1, so Stafford's not. So
Yeah.
I got him there at my 4.
All right.
Cool.
I feel like everybody we say, like, we're all gonna like agree on that, like they could finish top 5. Like it's running back so weird.
Yeah, I didn't even when I made my list, I didn't even think about Gibbs. Like Jamar Gibbs, like he carried me last year. And I didn't even think of him until you said him. He's not on my top 5. I was like, man, he is a good one.
Yeah. All right, number 3 might be a little bit of a surprise, but I think so. That's where I have McCaffrey at number 3, and I don't think it's so much that he's going to regress. I think I just think my guys above them are going to just do better, I guess is what I'm thinking with that one. I don't, and the 49ers, their offensive line has kind of regressed every year. I feel like for the last couple of years, they're not, quite as strong, I believe, as they were, 3-4 years ago when they were the best offensive line. And CMC, he is like Superman. It seems like he's like the one running back that just doesn't age, but he is human, and I feel like eventually, I don't think he's going to be bad ever, but I feel like he's, like I said, he's human. His body is eventually going to start to kind of wear down, even though kind of like LeBron, like we can see he's old, but he's still averaging 25 points or whatever. So he's still good, but just not quite what he used to be. And I feel like this year, and like I said, I think there's just other guys that are going to improve so much, but I'll get to those in a minute. But CMC number 3 for me.
Number 3 spot for me, I got Bijan Robinson. I think he's first going into second year. I think he's going to have a better year. Started out a little slow, I think, this past season, but he finished up pretty strong. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly what's going on there for the quarterback spot.
Yeah,
and that could maybe play a role in how well he does too. But so we'll see. But yeah, I'm expecting him to have a breakout year at that position. Got Bijan.
My number 3, I went with Breece Hall.
Okay.
He was already the vocal point of the Jets offense the past couple of years. He's battled some injuries, but he's definitely been their star player. But now you give him Aaron Rodgers. You can get him involved more in the pass game. Let him catch stuff out of the backfield. He's got a lot of top end speed. He's a very good ball player. I think having the quarterback there is going to help him a lot more because then it can open up. The defense is going to have to fear Garrett Wilson and those guys now. So I mean, a handoff to Breece Hall is going to be second on their mind at this point. But I think he's got a lot of high capabilities. As long as he stays healthy, man, you can say that for all these guys. But I think Breece is going to be top notch running back this year.
I agree.
I like that.
Excuse me. At my number 2, that's where I had Bijan. Like you said, Mark. I think it's his time at Atlanta. Yeah. And the biggest thing for him, I think, is they do not have their head coach, Arthur Smith, I think was his name, right? Yeah. They don't have him anymore. So literally any other coach in the world, I think, is going to get their star players involved a little bit more than he does.
A little bit more.
But thank goodness Arthur Smith is now the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. So I hope he does the exact same thing that he's always done and just not use his players.
Be great.
Yeah. And I think I could be wrong, but I think their new head coach, I forgot his name. I think it might be like something Powell or Raheem Morris, yeah. And I think he was, because he's been like on the offensive side and the defensive side, like coaching wise. So I expect him to do pretty good, especially. I mean, the Falcons, they have weapons. I don't know. They haven't been able to use them in the right ways. And hopefully Morris can kind of unlock that and get Bijan.
Another example for that.
And get both of them more involved. And I feel like they could surprise some people. But I feel like nobody's going to be surprised if Bijan finishes top 2.
Right.
Because he's just so good.
Yeah.
But, it's my number 2.
Yeah. My number 2 spot, is Breece Hall. I agree on everything Steve said. Having Rodgers in there with him, I think that's going to help his game. Rodgers probably just dump it off a lot to him.
Right.
And I agree. I think if he stays healthy, Rodgers stays healthy, he's going to be one of the best backs putting up the numbers this year. Very good ball player. But, yeah, Steve pretty much said everything.
Yeah.
Broke it down for you.
Yeah.
My number 2 is probably a little shocker too for most, but I went with Christian McCaffrey for my number 2. I think that he's still Christian McCaffrey. I think that he's still going to do all the great things that he does. He's going to be a threat out of the backfield as a receiver, running the ball. Kind of like Jared said, I feel like that offensive line is kind of went a little slower downhill, so maybe he moves a step there. He does have a real injury past, so he could get hurt at any given moment. But I got him in it too, just because I think my number 1 guy is going to dominate. So
you got me intrigued.
Just on that, I had to put him at 2, just on the hopes that this guy here ahead, comes out.
Okay.
Like an animal.
So my number 1, that's actually where I have Breece Hall. I feel like he's the guy this year. He is the guy, and you all have already.
You tell us why.
You both have. You both have talked about him. So there's not. There. If you want to know why, just rewind the video about 2 minutes. But yeah, I think he's just. I think he's a perfect mold for what you want in a quarterback because he's just so good running and in the passing game. I mean, and like you said, Rodgers is definitely going to be able to get him more involved than Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco was on the Browns last year.
None of that, it's going to spread that offense out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm.
That's the biggest
and
thing.
They can't load the box.
Yeah, I mean, if Rodgers can just throw it 3 feet above Garrett Wilson instead of 10, like Zach Wilson was, I think they'll be all right. I think yeah, because I mean they have good pieces. I mean their offensive line probably isn't the best, but it's not. I feel like it's probably middle of the pack, and hopefully they kind of mold together, and because they got a couple pretty high round draft picks that are young guys on their line too, so hopefully they can kind of figure it out and help out Breece Hall. But I just think I have nightmares about him, dude. Every time, because he went to Iowa State, and every time they played West Virginia, dude, every time
every time.
I mean, he looked like, I mean, you could tell he was like made for the NFL. Like he was different than all the other running backs. Right. Like you can tell pretty well in college, like how good a running back is going to be in the NFL. I feel like that's a big thing. But Breece Hall, number 1.
My number 1 might not be shocking to most, but unlike Steve, I'm loyal to my players, and Christian McCaffrey is my number 1 spot.
What?
And he carried me last season, so I'm gonna stick with him. And like Steve, doing Jamar Gibbs dirty like that.
Yeah.
Poor Gibbs.
Didn't even think about him.
There's a couple guys here that
CMC, I still fully believe he's the best running back, and I still think he's going to be putting up probably points too. Like that's the guy I want.
Yeah,
I'm picking fantasy, and
I
agree. And about the line maybe not being as good, but he's a beast, man.
Yeah,
and I think it's not really going to stop him.
Yeah,
and he can do it on both, the run game and the pass too. So he's tough, man. He's fun to watch.
Yeah,
he's hard-nosed running back.
Yeah.
Before I reveal my number 1 pick here, I'd like to just add, I did have a couple honorable mentions like Jared does.
Yeah, I do too. I actually have 2, but I was just going to wait.
So I'm going to go ahead and throw those out there and then let you have it for again. But for I'll call them like 5A and B, and C for that matter. My 5A would be Gibbs.
Yeah.
And then B and C would be both the dudes from Miami, Achane and Raheem Mostert, dude.
Absolutely, Achane, because I had him for my backup.
Dude,
I had him also. They were balling.
It was crazy. He averaged like 8 yards a carry last year because he didn't.
Dude, he had like 6 touchdowns in one game. It was like he just went off.
I never even heard of the guy until then.
Yeah, I know. He was dominant. But so I had to throw those guys out there. But my number 1 pick here is I wouldn't say a shocker. I'm gonna go with Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh my gosh, that is a shocker. That is a shocker.
No.
Dude.
No, I went with Derrick Henry.
Messed me up, dude.
Yeah,
I thought it was like 2016 again, dude.
He's got the 15 on. He's gonna be. But no, I'm going Derrick Henry is my true number 1.
Wow.
He was second in the league last year in rushing. You guys didn't put him in the top 5. You put him with Lamar, man. That's going to be who gets stopped there. You know what I mean? The O line's always pretty reliable for them. They're a run built team already. Running back by committee, all their running backs do solid there. I mean Gus Edwards and guys like that. They do great. Now you give them Derrick Henry. Oh my goodness! Some people are thinking he's lost a step, but he just come off like 1,200 yards last year, second in the league behind only McCaffrey. On the Tennessee Titans that were just awful. So, I think Derrick Henry's going to be the guy this year again, as he normally is, King Henry. You know what I'm saying? But I think him and Lamar in the run game together, they can run some options, stuff like they're going to be so hard to stop. Short yardage, he's going to score every touchdown there because they don't have they have no other lead back there. You know what I mean? So he's going to be the workhorse. He's going to get the ball every time it matters.
Yeah.
They can give it to him. I mean, he can catch it if he has to, but I feel like he's going to get a lot of touches. They're going to use him to relieve Lamar a lot from having to pass the ball so much. But that's my number one is Derrick Henry.
I did have him on my list. I had him at like number 3, and switched him around with all them just because of Lamar. I feel like he might not get as many touches as he's used to.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I hope you're wrong too, though, because that's going to hurt us in our division.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie. Face him twice a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tough.
I guess since we're giving honorable mentions out, I'll go ahead and give mine since I already had them wrote down under honorable mentions. So I really like the young running backs, and another one that I think could kind of finish through that 7, 8, or 6 through 8 range, I guess. Kenneth Walker or Kenny Walker, whatever you want to call it, for the Seahawks. That, yeah. The only thing that kind of makes me pull back from that is they have Zach Charbonnet, or however you say it, too, and he's a really solid back. So I feel like that might be like kind of like a Gibbs, David Montgomery situation there, kind of. But I wouldn't be, because Kenneth Walker, I mean, he is like, he's good. Yeah, and he's so fast too. Like he reminds me of oh my gosh, LT a little bit, just because he's so quick on his feet and he can cut so fast. And then another guy that I had Aaron Jones for the Vikings this year. I think they have a really solid offensive line, and they're going to be running a lot, I feel like, because they do have J.J. McCarthy, and I don't think they're just going to, have him out there throwing 40 times a game. I couldn't see that. Well, I feel like he's probably going to throw 35 times, and Jefferson's going to be 30 of the targets, and then another 5 is going to be T.J. Hawkinson, But I think just with a young running back having a young quarterback having a veteran running back like that behind a solid offensive line is a really good recipe for a top 10 finish in fantasy.
I agree with that.
Yeah, just the situation really is the only reason. And he's good, that also helps.
He's pretty good. He said he's pretty good.
He's pretty good all around. But yeah, Mark, you got anybody you want to mention that we haven't?
Walker. I like Kenneth Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry. Yeah, because he missed my top 5.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
You guys just aren't feeling Zeke this year coming off.
Zeke?
Yeah. Not yet.
No.
It's all right.
We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll see that.
I might pick him up off of free agency after the draft.
Yeah.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah. So that's all we had that episode before the Wi-Fi cut out. Sorry to kind of, put out a short video, but maybe y'all will like this one a little bit better because it's not so long. If you do, let us know, and we can start kind of doing shorter videos too on top of our regular, hour-ish long full episodes. We just want you all to know that we appreciate everybody watching. We hope you all enjoy what we're doing. We hope you notice that we are trying to put effort into this, and we're not trying to just halfway do it. We really want to make it good stuff that you all want to listen to, because you all like to hear about football and basketball every now and then, not just because you all know us or anything like that. We want you all to listen like you listen to any other podcast, and we hope that we give that to you. Like I said in the beginning, I'm still learning how to do Photoshop and everything, so the editing might be a little rough sometimes, but just know we're working on that, and we're trying to just improve every episode and give you all better content. So just let us know what you all are thinking about the channel so far, and just know during the NFL season it will kick up a little bit. We have some big plans. We'll be doing prediction videos every week, so we'll predict every game, and then the next week we'll go over it. I already have some graphics made. I'll try and pop one up on the screen right now, and you all will be able to just keep track of how good we've done the previous week and then how good we've done all season, and we'll make that a fun little game. So just to kind of see who gets more games right. But that's about all I got here. I didn't mean for this outro to be this long, but just wanted to kind of catch you guys up on some stuff. So peace out. Thanks for watching.